Well, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday night footy. It doesn't get much better than this. Yale versus Colgate coming to you live on Next Level Rugby from the beautiful New Haven, Connecticut. Thomas Grant with the call alongside one of the great voices of American rugby, Matt McCarthy of the Rugby Wrap-Up. How you doing, Matty?
I am fantastic, my friend. I couldn't be more excited about this matchup tonight. An Ivy League school matchup, but smart guys, but tough guys at the same time.
And let's have a little look at our rosters for this big clash under lights as we see the Colgate team getting ready to take the pitch. Walk us through this Colgate side, Matty.
Yeah, the thing that I'm looking at is the front row. You've got two sophomores in Sebastianelli and Rosenweig with the senior Ben Bradeur up front, and I want to watch Coach Koch and Hill at 9 and 10. Always interesting to watch the 9-10 combo and that young front row.
Certainly is, and Coach Craig Wilson of Yale has rolled out the big guns today. We see that front row pack of Isaiah Wright, Jack Sturman and Gus Buck will be causing havoc in the pack. Dominic Gehring, Drew Freidemann, the locking combination. Timothy Atkinson, Harry Pugh and Captain Liam Varela round out the loose forward trio. Jacob Koch and McClellan looking to form a very formidable 9 and 10 combination, and there is pace to burn on the wings in the form of O'Brien and Nico Vermut. So plenty of skill on show throughout both of these lineups, Matty. And Friday night footy, as we said, what a great opportunity for these kids to play under lights.
Absolutely. You know, that's the best part about what we got going on, televising these things, and credit to Next Level Rugby and Rugby Ryan Ginty. That's his new name. As you see Colgate in red, and they're getting ready, and you've got the YRFC Rhino Rugby post protectors. We never had those when we were little. That's why explains a lot there, Tom.
It certainly does, and it looks to be a beautiful night in New Haven, Connecticut as well, as we see our official on screen there in charge of adjudicating today's fixture.
If Dan Carter and a couple of different, I got a couple of different looks and combinations of what the referee looks like. But if Dan Carter and Andy Ellis had a son, that's what the referee looks like.
Yeah, we all see it.
I'm sure referee Miles McIver would be very happy with that comparison. Indeed,
okay.
that is a couple of rugby stars that you'd love to be compared with for sure. And we are about to get underway here in New Haven, Connecticut, the home of Yale Rugby. And we are underway with Tommy McHale. The deep long restart to get things off. Yale immediately look to take things up front.
Okay, good.
And we'll look to exit through Jacob Koch. Trying to spread to width early. Yale
outside.
Out of their 22 as it's carried there by Drew Friedman, the man out of Austin, Texas. Spreading wide to the fringes, nice and early. A bit of room to move for Yale, but it's just been lost forward, and
no advantage.
We'll come back for the initial knock on, but pretty enterprising stuff from Yale early on there.
Yeah, interesting to see how they're strategically going to play the ball when they're deep in their own end. Are they going to play it out? They're going to kick it. And now we have our first set piece. Here's another replay.
Right here.
A little bit of
boys, stay up,
maybe
push straight.
A little carelessness perhaps going into contact with the ball, but that's young exuberance. But you want to let them run, right? You got to let them go.
Bind.
We certainly do, as we get our first set piece opportunity of the game. Just shy of the 22, Colgate with a prime opportunity to strike. It's a strong scrum by Yale, and they get the turnover. Here goes Liam Varela, the captain, carrying strongly, takes a few men to bring him down.
Hey, stay good.
Koch.
Good, Colgate.
Looking for his runners. He finds one in the form of Gus Buck, the man out of Greenwich, Connecticut. Koch digging for the ball and looks to shape up for another forward pot as they find McClelland and puts up the up and under on halfway. And that one looks to have lost negative meters, but they've collected it in turn and they get the chip through. So fortuitous stuff by Yale.
Didn't have the ball. You pushed them over. Didn't have the ball.
You hear the comms there from the referee.
Said,
just play without the ball.
You can't play the person without the ball.
On the
and Miles McIver is a perfect kind of guy to, be a little bit professorial, if you will, with these players, because they are young players, and telling them what they're doing wrong as well. Here it is again.
Yeah.
McCarthy.
Touchy, where are we?
Yeah,
Over
it's
here?
pretty clear-cut. Great decision there.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a man with Major League Rugby experience,
Thanks,
so
buddy.
knows the law book like the back of his hand for sure.
And how about
you
that
guys set the
spot-on
line out,
replay
half a
from
metre
Next
each,
Level
come in.
Rugby?
That's not half a metre, thank you.
The technology is just improving. It's fantastic to see as we see Colgate
Oh,
off the
he
top
knocked
with
it. Oh, sorry.
Frankie McLaughlin and Matty
Unlucky.
McCarthy getting excited in the box is what we love to see. They've knocked it on.
Knock
So
forward.
Yale get the ball back.
That's one of those unforced errors. Here it is. They take the line out. No problems. He just took his eye off the ball for a second, and you can't do that. You can't score without the ball, Tom.
Yeah, we do see many a scrum halves guilty of that,
Fine!
taking their eyes off the ball, but Yale will be happy to get the ball back here through Jacob Coke. Gets it into the scrum, and a good push there by Colgate. Here goes McClelland. Pegs it back past halfway, and it looks to have gone out on the full.
Wait, stop. Hey,
We listen to the comms from referee Miles McCarthy.
excuse me. Did they go out in the full? Bounce out, yeah. Yeah, it's back here.
And it did indeed.
Out on the full.
He had to read his rights to the poor touchy, but we're going to come back for that one out on the full.
Out on the full, boys.
I think he heard you, Thomas.
Sorry?
He did indeed.
I was trying to ask him a question.
So, Tom, they keep
Both
putting the
teams.
boot to the ball here, and I want to see the two big centers, Walton and Heyman. Heyman, the tallest guy on the pitch at 6'4", and Walton at 6'2" for Yale. I want to see what they can do.
Indeed, and they do get some go-forward ball here through Ben Brodeur. Colgate look to try and string together a few phases and test this Yale defence. That's a strong carry there from Cooper Thomas. Here goes Wolf
Backwards.
in at halfback. A little bit of a messy pass, but it's back here for Ben Grunter at 15. Looks to be a sharp run at his Grunter. Still trying to play with a bit of width of both of these sides early on and test each other's defence. McHale goes into play halfback. The wide cutout pass from Spencer Hill to the left edge. A little bit of space to move there
Hey, hold!
for Androla. Hill, again, goes to the boot. Seems to be a tactic from both teams early on, but it's been taken cleanly in the 22 there by Aiden Stretch, and he gets a fantastic
Touch.
exit away there. So a pretty decent return there, Matty, but both teams looking to exchange some kicking battles early on.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
gonna.
if you could
Is
just
it
mark
going to
with
be
it
a
so we know
battle
where
of
to
the
line up?
boot the
Thank
whole
you, mate.
game, or are they going to settle down and try to grind it out? Maybe test the defenses, ask some questions of
Okay,
them, see if they
Isabel.
can tackle
You come in.
on both sides of the ball. So far, so good in that regard. But you know, the forwards might wear down with these kicks back and forth.
It's interesting to see how this one plays out in the opening stages. Clean ball for Colgate, and Spencer Hill looks for his forward pot, and it's a strong carry there again by Ben Brodeur, the number one. Wolf plays Hill. A little bit of width to move here for Colgate if they can punch through the seam. Phil Gillock.
The Pelham product
Whoa.
wheels.
Exactly, a local boy, eh?
No, shoulder. Shoulder.
Colgate not really making any meters here. Good defense by Yale.
Oh,
Strong carry there from Gannon. I felt that one from the com box.
yeah, it looks like they took it
Physical.
on the chin in the tackle.
Right.
Yeah,
Stop.
and we see referee Miles McCarthy stop play immediately. Such an enforcement
Time
on
off.
head injuries these days, and he certainly didn't look to be in good way there.
Yeah, instantly he went down. It was
Okay,
a
yeah,
shot.
just
He was
time's
lined up to make the tackle, and just good ball carry. And it was one of those hard parts on the chin. It's like a knockout punch in boxing.
So
He's
he was
back
down
up.
until he was outside, just
He's probably a little bit
Yeah.
foggy, but
Yep.
here it is again. There it is on the tackle, and the shoulder right to the jaw.
Yeah, unfortunate. Oh, we see that time and time again in today's game. It's so hard to get into that correct position, isn't it? And he did a pretty good job. Did the number 8.
Yeah, great strong run by Mike Gannon out of Bethesda, Maryland, and a Gonzaga product, a high school that's a
tackle over
powerhouse
here,
in
okay?
rugby.
Just be careful, okay? He's lucky you drop and hide, okay? Just be
But
careful.
that's
Lower,
great to
lower,
see. He's
okay?
back up on his feet,
Yeah, I saw it. I
and
saw
they're
it.
going to
That's
sub
fine.
him out.
Yeah, I don't think it was on
And there is no
You guys gotta get a
HIA
scrum.
assessment in college rugby,
Yale.
as far as I know. Is that accurate, Tom?
There's going to be a scrum. Reed hit
Yeah,
the
I think
ball.
that
I
is
stop the
correct.
game, okay?
While you're young and
Time.
you've got a good brain up there, it's best to protect it, right, Matty?
Reed was moving forward. They're going to get a scrum.
Indeed. But he's walking off under his own volition. He's kind of shrugging off, "Why are you taking me off?" That's always a good sign. So that's good news. And we go on.
We do indeed. The show goes on. Hopefully everything's okay there with that, gentleman.
Okay, we've got a loose forward.
And
Certainly looks a
listen,
little
that
bit
was a
ginger.
textbook ball carry by Mike Gannon into contact. Shoulder first, and it's no coincidence his favorite player is Richie McCaw.
Bind!
Wow, one of the greats to do it. Don't get me started about that player.
Stay up, stay up. Wait.
Colgate get the ball into the scrum through Robbie Wolf, but
Yeah,
Yale
not going to play that. Not going to play
get a
that.
good shove on it, and
Yeah,
referee
reset.
McIver says, "We will have another go, thanks, gentlemen."
Okay.
There he is,
Push straight, remember?
marking. And, of course, Miles McIver works pretty much every weekend in Major League Rugby, so he's bringing that professional level experience down here. And it's also great for the referees, the assistant referees, to be working with him as well. And then you spread that knowledge throughout the college system. It's a great piece of synergy so far.
Another good shunt from
Yeah, you're
Yale,
walking around, Yale.
but
Walk, push
Colgate
straight.
get the penalty.
No.
Front row not pushing straight
Middle
is
of
the
middle
call,
of the
so
scrum or behind the number 8. Push
You know,
straight,
quick
Yale.
taps
Do
in
not walk the
college
scrum around.
rugby are you can't have a
Scrum
college
penalties,
match
boys, from the middle of the
without
scrum or from behind the number 8.
many quick taps, and usually they're not at the mark. Youthful exuberance once again.
No, exactly. And we see a lot more international teams using it these days, and Yale have come away with the ball. A little counter-attacking opportunity. Didn't find touch, did Colgate, so
Backwards.
they're looking to play from inside their own half. This is Colin Walton. Coke finds his runner, goes to ground and tries to
You're off your feet,
get
you're
up
out
and
of the
play
game.
again, but that is a penalty
You're off your feet,
indeed.
you're out of the game.
Great call there from referee McIver. He just tried to get up and play again. I think it was number 6, Timothy
pick the ball up
Atkinson,
on your
didn't
knees.
release the ball properly, so this is probably
Points.
their best opportunity of the
Points.
game this far, Colgate, to have a strike.
Okay, you're on your knees, you're out of the game.
Little, dark arts going on there a little bit. Can't do that. Coming in from the side, perhaps.
Yeah, he just didn't get to his feet
Yeah.
when he released the ball, I think was the call, so
you're
Colgate
correct.
will get the shot at goal. It'll be number 12, Tommy McHale, to line up
Stay there, bud.
and try and get the first points of the match in this Friday night footy clash from New Haven, Connecticut, live on Next Level Rugby. And conditions look pretty beautiful for kicking.
Well, we
Indeed,
did
don't
see
they,
in
Matty
the
McCarthy?
in the B game prior to this the wind blowing for the touch judge, the flag,
No.
the assistant referee's flag. But right now that looks like it's up.
You can't charge
And
on
good.
penalty, okay? You can't. That would have been a re-kick if you missed.
Well, there's no problems indeed with that one, and Colgate take the early lead, 3-0. Tommy McHale with the boot, so
Tackle short
it's
off.
definitely been a physical opening 10 minutes here in New Haven.
boys.
Both teams just
Stay
trying
behind
to
the kicker, boys.
get a little bit of a gist
Good,
of how they're going to play. Obviously, very early signs in their season. It's been a long pre-season for both of these programs, and certainly look to be pretty evenly
whenever you're
matched
ready,
after this opening exchange. As we get back underway here, the deep restart from Aiden Stretch,
Okay, take him
just
back.
beyond the 22. And Colgate looked to
Knock-on
play
advantage.
playing a bit fortuitously there as
Knock-on
Yale
advantage.
tried to steal the intercept. Knock on, says referee
Hey, you're offside,
McIver,
mate.
so Colgate trying to relieve a little bit of pressure here through John Lanigan.
Out. U13, out.
And penalty to
Roll the other way.
Colgate, not
13
rolling
rolling.
away were Yale, so Maddie, my heart
Cap
was
4
in
in a
my
row,
mouth for
4
a second. I
penalties
thought
against
Yale
your
had
team, okay?
poached that intercept, playing pretty
Yeah, discipline needs to improve,
lucky
okay?
inside their own 22.
Yeah, and with the presence of mind was number 13, Phil Dullock, again, Duloc, again, the senior. He's the senior in that back line.
gonna use
Tommy
the line
McHale's a junior. So again, the centers, the matchup between the sets of centers from both teams respectively
should prove to be a factor in this match as we go. But that experience, just settle it down, get the ball back, guys. Let's reset.
Luke Rosenzweig.
I think there's a knock on again. Deja vu all over again. I can't help myself.
There we go. You're onto it. Well spotted. So Yale get the ball back again. Set piece. Both teams just trying to execute early on in the season. Yeah, we see the replay.
Hard to catch it when it's launched at your feet, right? All right, here we go.
Pull that
The job
grass.
description of the number 9 is to hold on to those.
I do feel for the 9 there. It's pretty hard to catch down at your ankles.
You sound like a 9 yourself.
Oh, lucky I am one. Here
No,
we
you're
go.
offside, 9.
Yale.
You can't go past the number 8. You're way past them.
Coke gets it off to McClellan. Backdoor ball to Heyman. A bit of room to move here, and they opt to put it on the boot. There is space for Yale. And they play on through Heyman, but offside position, says McIver. So definitely trying to play creatively is this Yale side, but
Okay, that's 5 in a row now, okay? Next one, we're going to start removing players, okay? Gotcha. Okay, offside. And wait in front of the
there
kicker.
from referee McIver, there's been a string of penalties, and he doesn't want to have any more, otherwise they'll lose a player to the bin.
Captain Liam Varela getting the word from our referee.
Great call there by referee McIver as we see the replay. And Colgate get another attacking opportunity here, just shy of Yale's 22, but it's been poached by Dominic Gearing, the man out of Jacksonville, Florida. Stripped though by Colgate, so back on the counter here. Come Colgate into the 22, running strongly. Phil Dulock almost breaking through.
That's fine, through the middle.
Wolf tries to get quick ball and he gets it off to Petrov. Takes it to ground. Big opportunity here for Colgate to strike on some unstructured defence.
Yeah, it was lost 4 in the tackle there,
And
unlucky.
it's just been
Ball hit the
knocked
ground
on,
and went
so
forward. Unlucky, guys.
a couple of unforced errors, Matty, as we have a look at the replay. Phil Dulock, what a powerhouse this kid is.
Yeah, the pride of Pelham Rugby. He just takes it north south. You know, you don't want to go to east west. Just put your head down, turn on the afterburners, and run. And that's exactly what he does. A great run.
So he said this morning,
Stretching
okay?
and splitting the defense. Takes more than one person to bring him down. You love that. Great run and good support
Crouch
on the front foot. Colgate.
bind.
Oh, but you know, then they turn it over.
Yale get the put in and breaking away as Jacob Coke takes it himself, the little number 9.
Good, back.
Nearly 15 minutes gone in this encounter. 3-0 Colgate with the slender lead. So they pick and go here through Gus Buck.
Move, Red.
One of the
Interesting
great
there,
names.
Tom, as he helped them form the Caterpillar and then picked it up and ran it himself.
It's been charged down indeed. Colgate almost sniping on the ball was Tommy McHale.
Touch.
That's good pressure there, Matt, from Colgate. Really putting a lot of trouble on Yale's exit.
Yeah, I saw him boot into touch.
Yeah, so far, I like the play out of McHale and Dulock at the centers. They seem to start, they're feeling comfortable. They're a junior and senior. They've been playing together, and they are taking
stay there,
it
stay there,
to
stay there.
Yale
Don't
right
come up.
now, making them
Don't come up.
play defense, making them make decisions,
No, you're
and they're
offside.
keeping Yale playing out of their own end.
They certainly are, as Yale try and get some go-forward ball to launch a comfortable exit.
Yeah.
And they get the penalty, so they'll be relieved with that.
You know,
Keep
if you're
themselves
Colgate, you
out of
have to be
trouble.
frustrated right now. The penalty count clearly looks like it's
You
in
can.
their favor,
Scrum.
yet Yale keeps
Scrum.
surviving.
They want to scrum.
There's no surprises that they've decided to pack down the scrum. They've definitely looked the most dominant when it comes to scrum time early on in this game. Isaiah Wright, Jack Stimmerman and Musper.
Crouch. Bind.
You know,
Definitely an
Tom,
interesting choice to make that midfield scrum.
you know, the wind could be a factor here too, with the
Good stuff.
kickers not feeling confident in finding touch. That looked like it might have been a forward pass.
And play on, says McCarthy. So a breakaway here for Shane O'Brien, but he's been bundled into touch, and you can see that flag in the background. You're right, Matt, potentially the win playing a factor in the decision-making of the number 10, Jack McClelland, around what he wants to do. And we saw there the scrum laid a pretty stable platform. It was a beautiful cutout pass. And O'Brien just couldn't stay in. It was good scramble D there from Colgate.
I thought maybe number 13, Dulak, was a little high on the tackle there, maybe going around the neck, but referee Miles McGyver right there, stride for stride.
Yale get another defensive poach on the Colgate lineout. So
Hold.
Jacob Coke rallies the troops, and they carry in strongly.
Move.
But a little bit messy. It's been cleaned up by Atkinson. There goes McClelland, the man out of Los Angeles, California. Colgate return the ping-pong battle. And it's at the back here for Stretch. Gives it the complete muck around, and they break through, do Yale. The alley-oop pass, it's in the hands now of Heyman. They get the pass away to Stretch again. Space for Yale down the left in the hands of O'Brien. Brilliant play there from Yale. And Colgate come up with it. Coke, or rather Wolf, sorry, goes for the box kick to try and get them out of trouble. And it's going to end up...
I need a flag if the ball goes into touch. It's a red throw. Red throw.
With red. Helter-skelter stuff.
Yeah, so that whole sequence was set up by the great run downfield by Stretch. Here he comes. Little dummy inside. Nope, I'm going to keep it. Perfectly executed. And now he's got some help. Here comes the run support. Right there with him is number 10, Spencer Hill. But then Caleb Smith at the tail end of that didn't have a decisive pass and then turned the ball over, but Colgate's got it.
Yale again get another defensive stop, and Jack Stevenon gets the ball and they get the penalty.
Stop. Stop. Captain.
Double blow, says the referee, and he is going to look to have a chat.
We're in the 22 here, about 15 metres away from the line. That's a professional foul, okay? Any more of that in this area, I'm going to have to remove the player, okay? Thank you.
Well, you can hear there Miles McCarthy said that is a professional foul, and any more of those in this part of the field will be sent to the bin.
So they want a scrum, and their penalty.
Big scrum here for Yale, Matt.
Absolutely. And again, there's that great instruction from our referee, McGyver. You know, we're always the first ones to criticize the referees, right? I mean, certainly I'm guilty of that. If I see something, and it's always good to see these guys and girls in this environment working with college students.
Become boys straight out the channel, eh?
Straight out the channel, says the referee. So that means we will have a reset as we near the first quarter of this game completed. It's 3 points to 0. Colgate over Yale. Best attacking opportunity of the game so far for Yale. You can see Colgate's try line beckoning there.
Bind! Sit!
Coke gets the ball into the scrum. This time it's clean. Gets it off to McClelland. Wraparound play with Colin Walton. They've got good fast ball here. Yale going very close to the try line. It's 5 metres out now. Coke.
Hold.
McClelland. McClelland goes himself. Jack McClelland through the gap. And Yale are in for the try after some fantastic vision from their 10.
Leave me alone.
Great moves by the applied maths major out of St. Louis. What a move. Presence of mind, and then just see that line and go for it. Textbook try from McClelland.
Well, it was brilliant vision. The gap just opened up in front of him like the Red Sea, as we see here on the replay.
You can obviously go up.
Really good, clean ball there for Coke. And just have a look at this, Matt McCarthy. Big gaping hole. Still had a little bit of work to do, but had to just brush off the one tackle in the end for that first crucial try of the game.
You know, you've got a strong body position, you're fine.
When you're a young player in rugby, you can't resist the temptation to come up too soon. You know, coming up flat is is the rugby 101 when you're in college, and it's the hardest thing to learn. And what a try that is. You know, Yale has survived, and now they're in the lead.
And aren't they pumped about it? Well, the kick does not go through the uprights on this occasion, so 5 points to 3. Yale retain the lead. Sorry, take the lead for the first time here in New Haven, Connecticut. That'll make Coach Craig Wilson very happy.
Yeah, he's not in the 5 minutes.
First real attacking opportunity inside of Colgate's 22, and they convert successfully. So here come Colgate with the restart. McHale goes deep to the left. And strong carry off the restart. That's a beautiful run there.
Last feed, everyone, everyone.
It's Varela. Not quite sure. Coke. And they break through again, do Yale. So really strong carries, getting them some good go-forward ball for Coke. McClelland, the backdoor ball to his left winger, Vermont. Oh, sorry, rather his right winger, O'Brien.
Yeah, it's tackle, it's tackle. Here's the ball.
There's a body lying in there. And Coke goes to dig it,
you
but
slow the ball down,
illegal.
okay? You slow the ball down.
Says Miles McIver, and they tap and go quickly. Just like Matty McCarthy mentioned, the tap and goes. Gotta love it.
No, careful, stay.
Coke.
Stay on your feet, please. Stay on your feet, boys.
Just happy to pick some phases here. So they find runners in the form of Friedman, the man in the headgear. Set off to McClelland. There's Walton. A little bit of backdoor play, and they carry on. This is Walton now, rather, with the carry. Coke.
Just be careful not to leave with your shoulder, okay?
It's big carry. It's Isaiah Wright. Head down, strong.
Yeah, last foot,
Carrying with
boys.
some real
You too, headband.
ferociousness. There's this Yale side. Coke, McClelland opts for the boot. There's a bit of space there for O'Brien, but he just can't regather it. In turn, pretty good defense there from Colgate, Matt.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to see how they counter, right? They let up that try after being unopportunistic with ball possession and only a 3-0 lead. Now they're down 5-3. Let's see how they respond. That was good defense.
Stop.
And now they have an opportunity to take the ball into Yale territory again.
Colgate with the line out is Luke Rosensweig, the hooker. And Yale poach again. This is not the first time they've done this so far in the opening 25 minutes.
Very good.
Coke finds Wright. Strong ball carrier is Isaiah Wright. So they breach the 22 with a bit of width. A little bit of a messy pass, but Stretch goes back to collect the scraps and met strongly by that man, Phil Dulock. We saw a barnstorming run from him earlier on in this first half. Back on halfway here are Yale. Bodies all over the place, and Colgate try and come in for the poach. But Coke has his hands on it and manages to get the ball away cleanly. Here's Jack Stemmerman. Or rather, that was Gus Buck. I apologise. McClelland. Wide pass and a bit of space here for Nick Heyman. Heyman breaks through one and gets taken pretty high there. Play on, says Miles McIver. And Buck again.
Lost.
Coming to the left, here's Heyman. Heyman gets the offload away to Harry Pugh, the 7. It's been lost forward, so Colgate look to exit through Nico Vermont, the 11.
Yeah, no advantage, guys. It's over
no
here.
Advantage.
Playing advantage
says
for
the
a
referee,
okay?
so Yale breaching that line pretty well here, Matt, and finding some tired Colgate bodies around the ruck.
Absolutely, and here's another look at it. Just good defense.
Come here, please. Hookers
Put a little
here.
pressure on, knock it on in contact. Little horse collar there, and an attempt at a tackle. Good.
Push straight.
And they give it to the smallest guy on the pitch to finish the business up, right? Isn't that always the case, you forwards?
Sit! What's your angle?
Absolutely it is. Robbie Wolf. That's a strong scrum
Use it.
by Colgate.
Good halfback.
Spencer Hill. They go for the flat pass away to that strong ball carrier, Phil Julock. Wolf going to width here, Colgate. They get the wide pass and there's a little room to move down the left edge, but the defence is equally brilliant from the Yale, retaining the ball and pushing them over the touchline.
Yeah, more good stuff from Yale, and just when you think the momentum has shifted, here you go. Colgate on attack, trying to get up the field, and a good tackle, pressure.
Here,
and now look, 1, 2, Colgate, 2 Yale tacklers take him into touch.
Off his foot, play on.
But now they lose it.
Yeah, they do the good work to get the line out, but they've given away a penalty now as well, so high tackle, says referee Miles McCarthy, just around the neck, which is obviously a heavily enforced part of the game nowadays.
That's number 2.
And number 12, Tommy McHale, finds touch. We see here on the replay, Matt.
Yeah, there it is, right there. You cannot do that, folks.
If you find yourself high, just
and
drop
you're doing
down.
it right in front of the referee.
You don't need to slam into the ground.
So, all kinds of things wrong. Drew Friedman
Ball
will,
away.
Want to not tackle that way in the next sequence. That's for sure.
Yeah, good officiating there.
All right.
Definitely have to be strict on that area of the body. 12 minutes left. You can hear referee McIver telling the players. So Rosensweet gets it into his number 7, Frankie McLaughlin. It's messy ball, but they manage to collect and go to the back here through Julock. Puts the
I like that.
It's a lovely kick.
Oh,
fantastic.
Man.
Option red.
When that first went up in the air, I wasn't crazy about the choice, but again, the conditions on the pitch with the wind, especially here on the East Coast and Northeast, it's a factor. So this is not an easy play, and we might see more of this going forward. Let's see if the wind plays a factor, and that was definitely a factor that time.
Knock on.
Yeah, you could just see the ball holding up in the wind, and Aiden stretch. I could get a good pun here that he tried to stretch or for the ball or something. Matt, you're better at puns than I am, but he just couldn't quite get to it.
Well, aside from the pun, I was watching the flag, and also I love the fact that Next Level Rugby is bringing us slow-mo replays, so we can actually really sound like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, there's a fantastic production that Ginty and the crew run as Wolf gets the messy ball away to Tommy McHale, who gets the ball away to that formidable runner, Julock. Mentioned his name a few times already.
He's the man of the match in a losing cause so far.
Certainly is, and
straight out.
Probably a little bit of a coach killer there as McHale went for the cross kick, but I don't think his left winger, Androla, was in sync with that decision, as we see here on the replay. A beautiful offload back inside for Julock. It was wonderful.
And he's always taking it on the burst, regardless of how the ball is received. He receives it perfectly, and that's something you can't really teach.
Until the ball's out, with shoulders. You can kind of look up.
It's just what you want from your number 13. Head down, run hard, and hope for the best.
I'm already getting destroyed in Reddit for saying that, by the way.
Here come Yale inside the 22. Just under 10 minutes to play, or over, sorry, left in this one. McClelland under all sorts of pressure, and he gets a little bit of a pitching wedge away to the number 14, Caleb Smith.
Well, that wind knocked it down.
It's a bit like my golf game at the moment. Not great.
Okay,
Here goes
ball's right there.
Robbie Wolf finds Rosensweig. Wolf, McHale.
Okay, 20 move.
Happy to take it into contact, Colgate, and build some phases. Running hard onto the ball there. It was John Lennigan.
It's a ruck, last foot. Good.
Until number 4, Wolf. finds Hill. Wide pass to Duloc. Phil Duloc taken
Okay, move away.
pretty comfortably this time by the Yale oncoming defence. Wolf gets it back to McLaughlin. Looking to go wide down the left here this time, and a bit of space for them. There's Luke Rosenzweig.
Nah, 2 players.
Mikhail has to go in and play scrum half and looks for his
Be careful on
runners,
that last foot, okay?
who he eventually finds in the form of Ben Brodeur.
Simple concept.
Strong defence here from
Backwards.
Yale. It's been knocked backwards, says the
Move
referee.
3. Good, good.
We play on. Opting to go for the boot again. A little bit of space, but Stretch this time does a fantastic job, and he looks to tap and go. Does Aiden Stretch deep inside his own half. Gets the cap flap offload away, but it's messy, and number 12, Colin Walton, comes up with it and gets the pirouette going. Fantastic
Keep the
footwork there
flag
from
down
Walton.
unless it's out. Keep the flag down.
Coke. Finds
Back up 12.
Liam Varela.
Good, good.
Good defence turns into a fantastic turn of possession here for Yale. That's a lovely kick downfield. And the chase is
You're all
ably as
offside.
good
You're
as
all offside.
Colgate get the wonky one back down to Stretch. With the jinky little fullback.
Yeah.
Stretch. Flings
Throws
it
a
wide.
hospital pass to
offside.
his number 8.
Yeah, that was as hospital as it gets.
You know, this whole thing started
Red players
back
all in
with
front.
the
Not
mark
a single
call,
person retreated.
right?
All offside.
And then the quick tap on the mark.
Hold on. Relax.
And then
What
the
would you
kick
like?
down
Okay,
the center of the
everyone's
field,
close.
which the wind did not affect at all.
If you find yourself
And
that
now
far
we're
in front of the
going
ball
for
carrier, you
posts.
have to back up. You can't just stand there.
Yeah, you got to give
You
credit
must back up.
to Yale's defence there. Colgate were really throwing everything at
Okay,
them.
I'm happy to do a question.
They just weren't able to breach, and as you said, Matty, they now get the opportunity to extend their lead.
Yes, these guys are 30
another
metres down
3
the field,
points.
mate. It's not a question of being a
There
metre
was a
or two.
lot
okay?
in that whole mix that you had the kick that was fielded under pressure with the presence of mind to call mark, then eschewing the opportunity to just kick the free kick off the mark, quick tap, and then march it downfield with another kick. So a good sequence for Yale.
Yeah.
And the 3 points is just as good. So 8 points to 3 here in New
6
Haven,
minutes,
Connecticut.
6 minutes.
6 minutes you can hear there from the referee left in this first half. It has been physical and certainly not short of
Guys,
any
got 6
action.
minutes, okay, in this half.
Now, Tom, I
I'm
was
sure
looking
there's
at my
gonna be
notes when the
tired
kick
bodies.
went up, and I didn't see the flag. So we're sure about that kick, right? I was looking
I
down.
listened
I
for the
apologize.
whistle, so
No, 6
I
minutes,
could
6
be
more
corrected, but
I think I just told by our producer, that I am incorrect, and I should pay attention and not look down when the kick is going up.
there we go
what does
from
he
Matty
know?
McCarthy. Tommy McHale gets the restart away. This one a little bit shorter this time. And again, fantastic carries off the restart so far by
Hold.
Yale in this game.
Good, wait. Good.
As Coke
No,
finds
they're
McClellan,
fine.
opts to go for the boot again. This one a little bit flatter.
Oh,
And it's been knocked
Yeah.
on at the back there for Colgate, so it goes from bad to worse.
Just knock. Just a
oh
knock.
boy!
Yeah, Androla.
You got to get the ball before you do anything. And again, you know, it's young players
Line longer, okay?
early in their
You're right up
careers,
here,
but
you got longer bind,
you got to
okay?
focus on that. And he will.
Yeah, well, you should be. Should be ear to
He
ear.
knows.
But
You don't
anyway,
have to tell him.
just if you're longer bind, okay? He's
He'll
got
be
nowhere to
seeing
go.
that
See.
one tonight on the ceiling.
Yeah,
Crouch!
for sure. You can see he's pretty
Fine.
gutted, but it was a wonky old kick. As Coke, they come off the back with the captain, Liam Varela. He's been strong so far in this first half, still going. Varela looking for support,
So that's a nothing. It's a nothing.
he finds it in turn. So some good go forward here for Coke. Plays Gus Buck. Buck beats one. Into the 22 here, a Yale threatening Colgate in this first half again. Wide cutout pass for O'Brien. And he keeps it in play, gets it back to Colin Walton.
Touch.
But this time, just couldn't quite do it. So
Play.
good scramble there, and they play quickly and almost play to no one. They do a good job in the end, Matty.
Good job indeed. And I like Gus Buck taking the ball up the field for Yale as that tight head prop. He's got to be the heaviest player on the field, and let's see if we can't get him to open up some windows and some gaps for some of those other loose forwards following him.
Yale get the clean line out, ball down to Coke, finds McClellan. Backdoor play here for Yale if they can find the space out to the right. Here goes Stretch. Beats one, gets brought down eventually. Does Aiden Stretch, the man out at Miami, Florida. Here goes Dominic Guerin.
Okay, ball's available. Use it.
Coke. Shapes to the right, finds McClellan. Wide pass, flat at best, but O'Brien puts it to boot, and
Line drop
Colgate
out.
managed to collect
Line
in
drop
the
out.
bat and pop it down for a goal line dropout. So still pretty smart
Gotta go
play there
five.
from Yale, just
Got to
identifying
be
the
back five.
space.
Thank you. Good stuff.
You know,
boys.
Thomas, you mentioned Dominic Gearing, and I've been watching him all night. His motor
the
doesn't
kicker like
stop
always,
running. The
boys.
number 4 for Yale. Keep an eye on him. He tackles, gets involved in the rucks, does the dirty work, and he's back up on his feet very, very quickly. That's a big thing that coaches check, your GPS thing on the back.
Yeah,
You know, they
something
want
too
to
far in
know
front, okay?
how quickly you're back up on your
3.
feet and back into the play. You're not lingering on the ground. Watch this guy, Dom Gearing, number 4. He's a sophomore out of Austin, Texas.
Certainly has a big motor as Heyman breaks through one, gets the offload. That's with
No hands, no
O'Brien
hands
again.
out. Hands off, hands
He's
off.
been everywhere so far in this game for Yale.
Advantage, penalty
Penalty
advantage.
advantage, says Miles McIver, and
Penalty
Yale
advantage.
get to play with some free money here. Is that man,
Penalty
I think we
advantage,
just
play off
mentioned
their
right, it's the
feet.
captain, Varela.
New advantage.
Coke.
Offside.
McClellan. A
New
bit of space
advantage.
here for Yale if they can exploit it through Stretch.
That was lost forward.
We'll come back to the penalty advantage.
Captain, you got a penalty here, offside, or the rolling penalty. Yep.
You can
Number 10
hear him
offside.
giving 2 options, and it's pretty clear cut
points.
which one Yale want to take. They'll take the one in
Number
front of the
10.
posts and opt to extend their lead on the eve of halftime here in Connecticut.
Yeah, unofficially, we've got about
30 seconds.
2 minutes and change left. The only time that matters is what. Never mind. I've been corrected again. This is a record amount for me being wrong, which is a record in itself, but is about 30 seconds according to MacGyver. Oh, he
And
clanks it.
It's
That goes
come
through.
off the post.
And he
Wow.
makes it. Oh!
Here we go.
1 minute, 1 minute.
So 11
He went top
points
shelf.
to
If that was
3.
ice hockey, Tom, if that was ice hockey, he went top shelf. You know what? We get into these things in these live performances or these games where somebody could be wrong about something,
about
and
30
9 out
seconds.
of 10 times it's me. But this time it
So
was
it's probably
indeed
last
our
play, barring a
producer.
penalty.
So there was more than 30 seconds left,
Last
and
play.
I just want to throw Ryan Ginty under the bus on live television across the nation.
There we go.
we
We
love
won't
him.
hold him to it. He's got
Good.
the toughest job in the world, looking at 8 screens in his studio.
Exactly.
And Yale will boot that into touch, and that will round out your first 40 minutes here in New Haven, Connecticut. It is the home side. Yale, 11 points to 3. We will be back
buddy.
with you very shortly. It's time for the halftime oranges and refreshments. Thomas Grant, Matt McCarthy, Next Level Rugby. Every day is a rugby day.
The great sport of rugby has been played at Yale University for over 150 years. The Yale rugby program has a very rich history and is one of the oldest programs in America.
You know, when you ask when did rugby start in America, it really wasn't rugby. Rugby didn't exist. It was football in the sense that it was a game one played with their feet. It was something of a free-for-all. There could be as many as 50 people on a team at the time. No rules existed. Most of the colleges started to play some sort of this game. They played something at Harvard, they played it at Princeton, they played at Rutgers, and they all played by their own rules and regulations.
The sport of rugby at Yale was embellished by a few people who had rugby experience before they came to Yale. Once they had the basis of these sporting people, it made a difference.
Early images of rugby at Yale were captured by Yale student and well-known artist Frederick Remington. His drawings have become iconic images of 19th century rugby.
When you get to 1860, the game really comes to a halt at Yale because the faculty just felt that it was way too violent a sport and it was just getting out of hand. Despite the fact that it was canceled, there obviously was still a passion for this new game in town and a great interest in it, so that it wasn't long before it started up again, thanks to a fellow by the name of David Schaff. Schaff was attending Yale. He was a British subject originally. He'd gone to prep school in Germany where he had played rugby, as it is officially known at the time in England, rugby. Again, the faculty intervened and said, no, we're not playing this game here. At which point Schaff decided that he really needed to form some sort of association to organize this game so that it would appear more legitimate in the eyes of the faculty and the powers that be at Yale. So he did, and he formed the Yale Football Association. And this is where we first see some effort at trying to make rules to make this a real game as opposed to 5,000 versions of a game. So, you know, as all these colleges began to form these rules, obviously their end result, they hoped, was that they would be able to play intercollegiate games as opposed to just playing different classes at their own school. And in November of 1872, Yale sent out its first challenge. And the challenge went to Columbia. And on November 16th, the very first official rugby game was played in New Haven between Yale and Columbia. All of a sudden there's an audience for these games. By the time you get to the 1880s, you're looking at thousands of people coming. So it's really a fun beginning in the sense that everyone's taking notice of this new game that they're playing. In the late 1870s, they decided that they would have an annual Thanksgiving Day game, which would be between the two top teams. And this is the point where it becomes the thing to do, to be at the Thanksgiving Day game. They started to play them on the Polo Grounds in New York City, and thousands of people would descend upon the polo fields to watch this Thanksgiving game, much like it is today when you watch the Thanksgiving game.
Rugby was being played, you see, in the 1880s. But then American football, as I call it, became the dominant sport.
Walter Camp is the most iconic figure in Yale rugby history. A captain of the team, Camp played a pivotal role in evolving the game into...
Well, the players have had their opportunity to catch their breath on what has been an exhilarating 40 minutes here in New Haven, Connecticut. The home side, Yale, taking the lead 11 points to 3 in what has been a tight tussle indeed. Matt McCarthy alongside me, one of the great voices of American rugby. Talk me through that first half, Matt McCarthy.
Well, I think two players stood out for each team. The number 13 that you're watching taking the ball to the ground, that's Mr. Pelham Rugby. Phil Duloc. And also on the other side of the ball with the taped ears, the white taped ears for Yale, I like the first half of Dom Gearing, the sophomore. But I want to see more out of these centers on Yale. I want to see Heyman, who's the biggest guy, tallest guy at least on the pitch. I want to see more out of him, and I want to see them test the combination in the back line at center for McHale and Duloc. And we get that going, I think we're going to have a heck of a match going forward. But Yale survived at home, that beginning, that red wave, and now they're in the lead. Let's see how it goes in the second half.
Let's see how it goes indeed as Yale restarts play and Colgate immediately look to exit from inside their 22, but they do not do that. It's come to the back here for Jacob Coke, who beats one and has to take it in himself, the little halfback. He had a great first half rallying his troops.
That was a great hard-nosed run.
Don't get in the way of the pass, thank you.
That's what you want to see from your 9, and this is a good hard-nosed run here from Isaiah Wright. Had a barnstorming first half as well, the man in the number 1 jersey. Backdoor for Walton. Oh, and that is not a good tackle at all. And we're going to take time to evaluate this one, I think, Matt McCarthy.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
He's going to the pocket.
I'm just processing in my mind what I just saw over here, okay? I think we all saw the same thing.
Oh, that is seatbelt times 10.
Is it? It's a yellow.
Okay. It's going to be a yellow card. Okay.
Yeah,
Any
okay.
more of that. Okay, we just remove players as we go. Okay.
I think that's the right call. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, where you go?
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant decision there from referee McCarthy. He didn't really come in with a lot of force. It was more a lazy sort of seatbelt, as I'd call it. So you can see he's disappointed with himself.
You want scrum?
As we have one more look on the Next Level Rugby replay. Yeah, just quite lazy.
Okay, scrum.
Number 14.
No tackle, scrum.
And
Caleb
Thomas,
Smith.
what I liked the most about that was MacGyver saying he's taking the time to replay what he just saw in his head, because he doesn't have the benefit of replay in this scenario yet. We will one day.
Yes.
We will one day. But right now he took that moment, kept calm, replayed it in his head, and nailed it.
Yep, good.
And that's what experience brings for sure. And Yale will get a brilliant opportunity here. 2 minutes into the second half. Coke gets it off to McClelland. Flat ball off to his number 12, Colin Walton, who breaks through. Walton. 2, 3, still going. Walton gets the offload away. And just like that, Yale stamped their mark on the second half off a fantastic run from Walton.
And it was that who was the finish there? Was that number 14? Was that? Oh no, that wasn't O'Brien, was it?
No, it was Vermont. I think number
Yes.
11, Vermont.
Yes. What a run though, and setting it up. Just here it is again. This is how you attack a defense. You make them come to you, and then just you break that tackle. How many Colgate players had a shot? About 5, and none of them were enough to slow them down. And again, there's the finish. Great finish, great pursuit. And Yale, with the conversion, I believe was good.
Well, it was just
Vermont.
sheer determination. Yeah, indeed. Sheer determination from Walton, and to have the presence of mind to still look to give that offload, and great support there from Vermont. We heard the whistle in the background for the conversion, so 18 points to 3.
Wow, what a turn. I thought, Colgate had the upper hand for like the first 15 minutes of this match and only came away with a 3-point lead.
Definitely some missed opportunities for
Outside.
Colgate. They'll be ruined. Nevertheless, Yale will be very happy at this point as they, again, get another strong carry off the restart through their captain, Varela.
No, tackle release.
And they get the penalty as well. No clear release
To
from
release
the
that tackle
Colgate
player, please.
tackler. So
Okay.
Yeah, folks, when you
Can't drag him
tackle
and
somebody
rip
in
the ball
rugby, you got to release the player or at least try to roll away so the referee sees that you've released the player. You cannot hold a player on the ground, nor can you hold the ball on the ground, conversely, as that ball goes out of bounds or into touch. Here
You
you're looking
are
at it
a
again.
Release before you have a crack at it again, okay?
And trying to poach that ball and just dragging the player with him.
It actually wasn't too bad.
I was just thinking the same thing, you know.
Might have been a bit hard done by, but nevertheless, the referee's got better eyesight than us, that's for sure. So, Colgate, breakaway with the ball. As Robbie Wolf finds his 10, Spencer Hill finds the flat pass off to his 6, Cooper Thomas.
Advantage over, 2 phases.
Wolf, wide pass, and it's collected brilliantly from this man who's featured well in the first half. Phil Dulock, but he's just lost it forward, so Yale breakaway again.
Advantage.
I like that Isaiah Wright, the wrestler out of Oklahoma, and I'll give you 15 guesses as to who's another wrestler out of Oklahoma. Yes, you're right, Chance Mangluski.
Okay.
Well, indeed, and look at that pass. It was really a dime on the spot, and you can see the strip there. May have just been in the tackle.
I need you guys to be stronger on engage, okay? And I want you guys pushing before the ball's in, okay? Stronger, do not push before the ball's in.
I think Shane O'Brien might have gotten away with an inadvertent thumb to the eye of the ball carrier from Colgate.
Stay there, good. Stay bound.
Indeed, is Coke at the back of the scrum for McClelland. Backdoor pass, and they look to spread it early, but again, they go for that repetitive boot. And it's messy at the back for Colgate, and it's been knocked on. So, Matt McCarthy, you talked about it in the first half. Got to get to it on that first bounce.
Yeah, and you know, you know the temptation is to think about what you're going to do with the ball once you have it in your hands, or you're maybe looking at the defense. But it's a very simple concept.
Just let me riff it, guys.
Watch the ball into your hands and make sure you collect it. And if you can't pick it up cleanly on that hop, go to ground.
All right, boys, just stay up, push straight, guys, please.
Ball on the ground, player on the ground.
Bind!
Exactly right. Ben Grunthry probably just didn't get low enough to collect the ball. The old bounce of the rugby ball, and here goes Varela. For Yale, the captain gets it off to Coke, who...
Yeah, it's a kick. It was a kick.
Kicks it, says the referee, so play on. And Colgate will try and exit here inside their own try line as Wolf gets it back to his 10, Spencer Hill, who doesn't manage to find touch, but Shane O'Brien finds the ball in his hand for Yale. Back to the right in space if they can exploit it. Again, it's been just lost forward there.
Stay on your feet, stay on your feet.
Come up with the ball, and deja vu for Robbie Wolf this time. Spencer Hill goes for the up and under, and it's a return of the favour.
Not going to play that.
Oh, boy.
Not going to play that.
Taste of your own medicine, Matt McCarthy. How good.
Yeah, the yips are contagious, folks, just in case you didn't know it. Wow, just a knock on right in the chest, right in the wheelhouse, and he drops it. That's number 15, Aiden Stretch, who's had a great match, and he's going to wish this one didn't happen. He wants that one back. Oh, boy, been there. But very good presence of mind earlier in that sequence by the number 11, Arya Androla, to field the ball, run it in his own try zone, get a little bit of space, and then put the ball in the air.
Colgate get met strongly on the shove there from that big Yale pack. They go for the up and under again. This time it's taken cleanly by number 21. There's Lewis Halvorsen, and they break away here. Do Yale strong contact there in the middle, and the penalty comes to Yale.
There was a tackle.
Tap and go to the number 15 Stretch, looking to redeem himself after the knock. Space for Yale down the left. The offload's beautiful, and it is not going to be a try. I thought it was almost over the line.
Yeah.
Colgate.
No advantage under pressure.
Kick away, but definitely no advantage gained there. So I thought he was in for all money, Matt McCarthy.
Under pressure.
And Drew Friedman thought he might have had a try there, but we're going to go back. Here's a replay. And a couple of the high tackles again, opens it on the outside. And there's your man, number 21. Did he get it down? I don't think so.
Right here.
Halvorsen. Luis Halvorsen, the junior, cognitive science major, but he didn't think that one through.
Yeah, we got to go on the bin here from red, so we're not doing this.
He didn't indeed. He just got scrambled into touch, as we see one of the Colgate players getting a little bit of medical attention. Number 7, Frankie McLaughlin.
Conveniently timed. Okay. Time on. Yeah, I know.
He's had a nice match. If you're Colgate, you don't want to lose him.
Okay, it was lost forward by Yale. Red scrum.
He certainly has had some fantastic work rate in that first half. And you just feel for Colgate that they are a team that can come storming back into this match if things start to click here.
This match is definitely closer than the score would indicate.
Not at scrum time, though, as Varela breaks away the captain. Goes for the stiff arm. Gets the offload away to Heyman. Heyman finds the runner down the right. And Shane O'Brien extends the lead for Yale after a brilliant scrum.
The economics and psychology major out of Floral Park, New York, Archbishop Malloy, former soccer player. He finishes off a great team try. There it is again. Good stiff arms, textbook running.
Scored, right, Red?
Keeps the ball alive.
A
couple of red jerseys required, and that's a great pass there on the outside, and all you got to do is touch it down.
Yeah, it really was fantastic from Nick Heyman, the number 13, just to draw in those defenders and get that little alley-oop pop away. And the kick is no good, so 23 points to 3. We'll have a look here on the replay. That was just sublime, wasn't it, Matt? Free his arms and get the ball away to O'Brien.
Well done. Well done. That old kind of wrap-around, one-handed pass
probably next
to the outside. But the conversion, no good.
No good indeed. So Colgate need to score next, you feel.
How do you feel if you're the contact coach, Greg Wilson, right now?
Okay.
Pretty good. To be honest, I'll be all smiles. Really dominating and, I guess, executing well off set piece. I think the contact coach, especially first game of the season or early stage of the season, has to be very happy.
And he's got his forwards coach, Mark Downs, a former teammate of mine with the New York Rugby Club, and he was one heck of a back row player, 7, 6, 8, interchangeably. So they are a well-coached team, and I'm not knocking Kyle Corbett and co. over at Colgate.
Tackle now.
Both programs looking to improve.
No, stay on your feet. Stay on your feet, okay?
Certainly are, as Isaiah Wright, one man who stood out in this game so far, gets the offload away, but can certainly do everything can the number 1 for Yale. They look to clear back down into Colgate's half, and they get the chip away, but it's worked brilliantly here for the number 15, Grunther. Looks for support, but can't find it.
Grunther nicknamed the Assassin.
There we go. A bit of space down the right for Colgate if they can find it through Cooper Thomas. Promising stuff here for the men in red.
Advantage offside.
Penalty advantage for Colgate, so house money. They go for the up and under. And it doesn't get collected, but this could be the chance that Colgate need, Matt McCarthy.
Yeah, that looked more like it was an under and up.
Had a chance to back up.
Playing with house money there. I don't know. It looked like it was, okay, I'm going to put this in the air, and we're all going to turn around and look the other way. There's our kick to touch.
Okay.
All right,
here's the play.
Yeah, bring on the bin. Bring on the bin.
And it got the Yale player got a piece of it. And there's the assassin.
Where's the sin bin? Where's the sin bin?
Taking it to the ground.
Where is he?
And nice.
You got the assist.
Oh, he's the winger? Okay. All right, all good, all good. We're going to talk to him, but it's fine.
So Colgate have a massive opportunity to
That's a short
strike
10 metres, I
themselves
think.
back
What do you
into this
think?
game.
Thank you.
Their line
Stop.
out
Yeah,
has
good.
struggled so far in this game. Defensively, Yale have been superb at line out time, so they need to get this clean ball. And they find it. Here you go, Colgate. And number 7, Frankie McLaughlin.
Discipline now, discipline.
Wolf finds Hill, backdoor ball as they throw it there to Duloc. With the 15, Grunther. Space here for Smith, back on the field. Fantastic cover defense there from Yale.
Let it come, let it come.
And penalty to the men in red. Tap and go here for Wolf. They're playing quickly. Colgate break
Play
away.
on.
Try line beckoning for the men in red. See the ball there on screen.
Good.
The white line
Off his neck.
just shy. Ethan Hamlin,
Advantage,
the
rolling.
replacement hooker.
It's advantage, penalty advantage. Rolling.
Wolf rallies his troops. Finds number 12, Tommy McHale, advantage. So they go for the crossfield kick in their space. It's an aerial battle. And the 11 for Colgate has scored the try. Aria Androla. Fantastic vision.
Are you in the try zone, Androla? You bet he is. A great try
Captain,
from Colgate.
captain now.
The no-quit try from Colgate. And they are flashing those pearly whites, our Colgate.
Need the dominant team today. Be very careful down here on the goal, okay? Professional fouls like that, okay? Come way offside,
This
okay?
was
Make
actually
a
the
nuisance of himself.
initial
Be very
break.
careful, okay?
Cooper Thomas that got them into this good position to build some momentum. As we await the kick, but Matt McCarthy, when Colgate string the ball together, and they certainly look to be a dangerous side, don't they?
They do indeed, and if we can get more of that from them, they might have a chance at poking their way back in here, at least making the score a little bit less lopsided.
Well,
Here's
we'll
a
see
tough
if they
angle
can
on
add.
this kick.
Yeah, indeed.
Here you go again. There's that little chip kick from Tommy McHale. And nice presence of mind to stay calm, collected, and get that ball and dot it down from Androla. Well done.
Yeah, it was well done indeed.
Yeah.
And I think the kick was unsuccessful, so...
And it wasn't a knock in the try zone, folks, because it was hit by the Yale player at the same time, and it went backward.
Good vision there. Matt McCarthy, and
Flag. Stop.
23 plays
Flag
8.
went
We
up.
see a flag up from the assistant referee, so
Is the blue player in touch? Yeah, thanks.
Colgate will
Red throw.
retain possession.
Real throw.
You know, I was
Still
an English
plenty of time
major,
left.
5-year English
Middle
major
smooth.
at the University at Buffalo, but I'm thinking a converted try here gets me at 15. And then if we get 15, it was to carry the 7.
What,
we,
Steve,
we're
you're
right
on the
back in
line.
it. But there's that yellow
Absolutely.
card. looming.
Yeah. Nah, guys, I've asked you to step out of the line out. You're stepping into
Free
the middle of
kick.
the line out.
Here
Back
there,
out.
Yale were guilty of
Cannot stand
stepping
in the
into the
middle
middle
of
of
the
the
line
line out and not clearing the gap, so Colgate get the free kick.
Right here, right here.
And you can
Guys,
see
listen,
number
I'm
12,
talking. I'm
Tommy
telling you what
McHale,
to do.
pointing to the sky. And I think we know what they're going to do here, and that is go up. And they do indeed. Testing one at the back here for Yale, but it's taken brilliantly by Stretch. As he's a tough, slippery man to bring down is Aiden Stretch.
Say, good, good.
Coke slowing it down, finds McClellan to return serve. And Colgate
Okay, come
vice
back.
versa with another
Good,
big
onside,
swirling
onside.
up and under. Taken cleanly again by Yale. Here's O'Brien, the try scorer moments ago in the second half. And Colgate are going to look to run it. That's a bounce
Okay,
pass and
come back.
under all sorts of pressure.
Good, good stuff.
Colgate, so Yale in
Much
turn,
better,
it's
Red,
actually worked
much
out to
better.
be a brilliant kick, Matt McCarthy. No one was
Oh
wanting
boy,
it.
I'm just, you know, the wind is picked up again. You can see the side
Outside.
flag there, but the forwards
It's
have to
halfway
hate
line, I don't
this
think it
when you're
matters.
going back and forth, especially the bigger fellas, the front row guys. They're just going
Yeah,
back and
guys.
forth, back and forth.
Get, please,
At a certain point, maybe specifically if you're Yale, just put the ball down and just run upfield with it.
Well, there you go. Let's see if they can do that. Colgate get the ball back through Jacob Petrov, the man with some strapping around his head today. Wolf gets it back to Hill, who gets a kick underway with some pressure. Strong defense from Duloc. Room to move here for Yale. Breaking away here. This is a fantastic run from number 12, Colin Walton. And that is one of the great tries. He set up one earlier in the second half, and this time he gets his own. He's a tough man to bring down indeed.
Wow, the Economics and East Asian Studies major out of Thousand Oaks, California. What a try. He is an athlete, and he showed it there. Here's taking it upfield, right? Great stick by the man from Pelham, Phil Dulick. But then the presence of mind to just turn on the jets, go up the field, look around. Okay, I'm going to dummy you a little bit, then stiff arm you to the ground. And do I have the jets to finish? And there's that man, our try scorer just a minute ago, Androla on the defense, but not enough, too late. And there's a try, and that's a big try for Yale. The answer back, Colin Walton. Well done.
Certainly caught me by surprise. He just streamed away down the left touchline and had a lot of work to do. That is a wonderful individual effort, and the kick is just as good. So 30 plays 8. Just when Colgate was starting to knock on the door, Yale comes storming back with the response.
Okay, red sub.
22-point margin, 20 minutes or just under left to play here in New Haven, Connecticut.
And Tom, I want to go back to explain, and people that are tuning in that might not know this, the free kick that was awarded earlier to Colgate.
Did someone come on?
You just can't kick that out of bounds or into touch and then get a line out. You don't get the ball back. You have to bounce it in, right?
20.
So it's a little bit different than a penalty.
Exactly right. Yeah, on the free kick, you weren't retained possession, so it had to bounce, and that one's bouncing as well.
It's a controlled knock-on.
Exactly right. The number 8, Liam Varela, is carried strongly for them all game, and he does so again. They get the kick away.
Yeah.
Not a massive net gain, and it's gone out on the full, so an opportunity here for Colgate to respond quickly after that fantastic individual effort from Colin Walton.
Okay, Blue,
and they've shown resiliency. They've shown the ability to bounce back. They've shown the ability to keep playing hard rugby. So let's see if they can compete here and get another try.
Well, you got to win your lineouts for that to happen, and they just can't seem to do it on that occasion. So Yale,
okay, you're outside now, outside.
Come up with the ball again. Isaiah Wright with the carry, but it's been knocked on, so we'll come back, and Colgate this time will get the pack down for the scrum, which I think they'll probably prefer to do, Matt.
Absolutely. And now you need to win this. You cannot lose this scrum. And I noticed there's a couple of substitutions in there. I think we've got Ethan Hamlin up in the front row, number 16 for Colgate. So this is a key, pivotal moment in this game. You cannot afford to lose this scrum down, and you have to get points out of this sequence.
Ball in.
Let's see.
62 minutes, 63 minutes gone, right? Unofficially.
Exactly right. This is the time to strike as they go immediately wide to the left in the hands of Caleb Smith, who does a good job to collect it. He's brought to ground. A strong tackle there.
Yeah, you want to catch these passes in stride. You don't want to have to wait for them to come down in the air. That's one thing they can work on.
Exactly, and Varela breaks away for Yale, so...
Forward.
Yeah, that was a forward pass, the dish. So it's going to be a scrum down to Colgate.
Yeah, good call there by McIver, and it's an interesting point you make there. McCarthy making gain line, as they call it, constantly pinching meters on your opposition, and ably that defense from Yale has really pressured them and forced them back past the gain line a lot of times tonight, hasn't it?
It has, and some of the unforced errors, some of these knock-ons where you're not under duress, or if it's off a line and somebody drops it, or if it's a kick and there's nobody around you and it bounces off your chest. These are things that you can improve on with time and work and practice and training.
Well, unfortunately for Colgate, it was messy at the back, and a knock on there from the number 9 Wolf has given Yale possession right back inside their own half.
Sorry, you mentioned Wolf, and I want to go back just a little bit earlier. He had the presence of mind to not try to catch the ball under pressure. He used his foot, right? Stopped it with his foot and then picked it up. You like to see things like that from a young player.
Absolutely. Absolutely we do. If you can pull it off, it's brilliant. Here goes Varela. Gets the offload away to Coke, who's met strongly by Caleb Smith.
Caleb Smith's had himself a nice match.
No, he has indeed. Obviously spent 10 in the bin for that tackle, but he's come on and tried to rectify his mistakes, and
16.
Colgate are guilty of a few disciplinary issues here at the breakdown tonight, so no doubt something they'll look to address at practice next week.
Thank you.
Not rolling is the call.
I like the way you brought up the fact that he was in the sin bin the minute I said he had a good match. But there's the replay, and
anything to return
right
serve
there
on you, McCarthy.
Move away towards your own goal line, please, if you're on the
There's
deck.
that penalty.
If you found yourself on the ground, move towards your own goal line, not towards theirs.
So this is prime time opportunity for Yale to strike again. The line-out's been functioning well. We'll see if they set up for the potential maul here.
What's this guy doing? U10, thanks.
I hope the grass doesn't kick up down here like it did in the match yesterday in the World Cup. I don't know if you caught any of that.
Good enough.
I think it was France versus, was it Romania?
They played Uruguay.
Uruguay, yeah.
No, put him down.
And the maul is just what we thought could happen, and it's been constructed beautifully as Yale march it forward. Jacob Coke rallying his troops, and they haven't managed to find the line. So here goes Varela.
Oh, yes!
And he gets it.
With the extra stretch. The number 8 out of Interlaken, New Jersey. And how did he start playing rugby? His dad played rugby.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I got that one wrong. Hold on. No. Wait a minute. I got that one wrong. Sorry, folks. The teleprompter's a little foggy. He's out of Gonzaga High School, if I'm not mistaken, right? Was that the number 8?
That was indeed. He's
Mike Gannon.
He's actually out of our. I'll try to pronounce this correctly. Acalanes High School. Acalanes High School is where he's from, according to my information. But who knows who's got the correct one? We'll discuss.
You're correct. Yeah.
But I want to say there is no one more deserving.
He's out of Napa,
today.
California. Sorry, everybody. I just had a senior moment.
That's all right. We'll forgive you, Matt McCarthy. But that is. He's had a barnstorming game, hasn't he, Matt? He's wearing the captain's armband, and he's led by example, and he really deserves that 5 points.
And he's a junior, so
12.
Craig Wilson's got him coming back next year.
Yeah.
The luxury.
And indeed.
So 35.
And the way he plays, the way he carries the ball in the open, reminds me a lot of a young Mark Downs, who is the forwards coach.
There we go.
It's going to be 11 minutes in a second.
Some coaching similarities translating onto the player groups. Good to see. Just over 10 minutes to play. Colgate.
Oh, that could be a high tackle.
Back in here, but that is certainly not the way to do it. Play on, says the referee. So we will continue on with proceedings as Yale look to march up around the fringes of the ruck. Coke shapes up to his 10, and McClelland, who finds it deep to Ben Grunther, who whips the pass away to one of the try scorers tonight, Androla. He tries to break away to Naria Androla.
Ruck.
I'll tell you what, not the biggest guy on the pitch, but he's a rugby player.
He is indeed, but Yale have poached this. Ball was out, said referee McCarthy, and they break away downfield, and almost, yes indeed, in for the try. Number 4, Dominic Gearing, the man out of Jacksonville, Florida. How good.
Very good, an excellent, you know, and there's a guy that deserves a try, it's him. And everybody at Dripping Springs High School in Austin, Texas will be thrilled for Mr. Gearing. Dare I say that he's been gearing up for that try all night.
Oh, there we go. The puns have come out. Yes, apologies out of Austin, Texas.
There's no joke drum. We got to get the joke drum track. There it is. Great try on the outside. Great pursuit. And again, his motor doesn't quit. And there it is. As close to the post as he could get it. Touch it down.
20.
Well done. And he's a sophomore.
15 seconds.
So that's good. That's even better. 19 years old, 6'1".
15 seconds till you can kick it.
And we'll probably see Coach Craig Wilson look to rotate some of his players now, as they're in a pretty comfortable position, and the kick is off the upright and just down. So no good on that extra 2.
Another puck off the post.
10 minutes, okay?
There we go. We've seen a couple of them tonight.
10 minutes, guys.
10 minutes, says the referee, as we see the replay. Fantastic. It was one lock to another. It was Friedman who gave the pass to his counterpart, Gearing. Both the locks working in tandem.
Great presence of mind to look back in from Friedman. He sucked the defense with him and went right back inside, and there was that run support and pursuit that we talked about. All important. When you're not with the ball, folks, it's also important what you do when you're not carrying the ball.
And that is a crunching tackle there from Luke Rosenzweig. He's had a pretty strong game, has the hooker for Colgate, I've thought, has worked hard. Here goes the captain, the try scorer earlier on, Liam Varela. We spoke about him.
It doesn't matter.
He might have popped that shoulder out. He just went right to the sideline.
Not in a ruck, man.
You see the medic rushing on, but that is a fantastic kick there. Open pasture. Brilliant net gain and presence of mind to spot the open space.
That's right.
And now there's
we'll
another Yale player running off.
Time off.
Yale player running off, favoring a shoulder.
Yeah, red tries,
there's been some contact in this game. This
out.
is not tennis, folks. This is a physical game. And these two teams, despite the score, have battled in the trenches all night long.
It's been no shortage of physicality, that's for sure, as Matt McCarthy says. And the man with the ball now has been one of those players for Colgate, that's for sure. The number 13, Phil Durlock, he has been one of the shining heroes for them. And they get the penalty for a kick in the ruck. So
no, 23 on the side.
We want to talk about that man, McCarthy. We've mentioned his name a few times tonight. Has really been one of those sort of solo shining lights for Colgate, Phil Durlock.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He is, again, I used this term earlier, he's a hard-nosed rugby player. Out of Pelham. His mom got him into playing. How cool is that? And he was a New York Metropolitan All-Star.
Okay. Is the sub on?
And that's that program at Pelham started by Matt Persanis, New York Athletic Club legend. And I just had a rethinking of who Miles McGyver looks like. If Wayne Barnes and Andy Ellis had a son, it would be Miles McGyver.
So
there we go.
Gap, okay, so.
You've taken Dan Carter out of the equation. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think you guys will figure that out.
Come on, look, Wayne Barnes and Andy Ellis right there.
I can see it. I can definitely see it. Luciano Sebastianelli plays hooker this time, and Colgate get the ball. Sebastianelli goes through and carries himself, gets a beautiful backwards offload away to one of the new men on the field, storming on number 18, who I don't have a name for, but that's all right. He gets the penalty anyway.
Love when that happens.
Side entry.
Side entry was the call on that penalty, by the way. Sorry about that.
Not a problem at all. We play on, breaking away. There's a little bit of to and fro on the ground, but a turnover from Yale has been enforced, and they get the penalty, so that is brilliant.
Oh, boy.
Stay on your feet, please. Fell over the top, slowed the ball. Stay on your feet.
Looks like Matteo Farina out of Buenos Aires with the man bun is in at number 22, Thomas, for Yale.
Yeah, indeed. Farina, as you said, he's played a number of sports, played soccer, tennis,
Okay, no, stop!
studying global affairs, so
That's okay, he's a kicker.
a wide variety of skill sets for that man.
And he was wearing black all week after Argentina's performance against England in the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, that was
But
certainly...
that's a different program.
Yeah, exactly, we won't get into that. Here goes Coke. Yale looking to punch through. Number 4, Gearing, the try scorer. As we said, he's worked tirelessly all game. As has the number 10, Jack McClelland. They play again. Gearing getting a double action carry, and they get the penalty advantage as well. So they play with the chip and chase. A bit of space here for Stretch.
No, back for the penalty.
And Colgate do a good job through Mikhail. So we'll come back
Yeah.
for the penalty.
Penalty, you can't sub. Guys, yelling,
They
it's
might look
out.
to clear the
doesn't mean
bench.
It's out, okay? No, I can ask.
Exactly. You just heard, ladies and gentlemen, the overstating of the obvious. Yelling it's out doesn't mean it's
I
out.
thought it was in, but he hadn't actually put the ball up.
And guess what? The young player is going to learn that the referee is the only person that's right on the field. And the difference between a college rugby match,
No,
Thomas,
that's out if it's behind their back foot. Yeah, interpretation thing between you and I, okay? I didn't see it. I thought it was still in.
Yeah, we can hear the referee
there it
explaining
is.
there.
It's an interpretation thing between you and me. And guess what, kid? The referee's interpretation is going to be the correct one. And Thomas, the difference between a college rugby match and, say, a old boys rugby match is there's one referee in a college rugby match, and there's 31 referees in an old boys rugby match. Everybody's a referee.
It's got to be in or out, okay?
Absolutely, indeed.
Yeah, all
And
the
this
way
is
back
where
10
it
metres,
starts,
okay?
right
Thank you.
here, right now, for that young player from Colgate.
And it could be a budding career with the whistle indeed for that man. It's messy ball for Yale. Backwards, says the referee. So we play on. And there is a wide hole opened up here for Yale down the left. And it's beautiful interchange of passing again.
Yep.
A good scramble defense by Colgate. But in turn, they bustle over. And it is try time again.
Just take it easy.
We'll try and get a number there for you. We just need to ask that gentleman to politely turn around so we can give him the full credit that he deserves.
And you know, the thing is, that was set up by some very good east-west running, and that was Harry Pugh, I believe, with the try, the senior. And instead of running north-south, they were finding gaps in that defense by taking the ball toward the touch line or the sideline. And there's the finish. Great finish.
Well, their forwards have worked tirelessly all game and really laid a fantastic platform for the backs of Coke, McClelland, Stretch to really do the justice out wide. But I think we have to give full credit to the pack of Yale today, Matt McCarthy. They've just worked outstanding for this full 80 minutes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, I was also going to point out that, you know, Yale's now a program that's on the up, right? And we've seen some of these programs be able to change dramatically overnight. Brown's a perfect example.
2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes on the clock, okay?
You got Fairfield in Connecticut as another perfect example of these programs where the alumni and the school say, okay, we're going to embrace rugby, and then they can change the program pretty much overnight. Yale's one of these on the upward trend programs, and maybe Colgate can follow suit.
It's fantastic to see. It's really been a quality game of rugby. Even though the scoreboard's a little bit lopsided in favour of Yale, there's been some brilliant tries scored. And that man, Tommy McHale, gets things back underway as we enter the last 2 minutes, and Yale threatened to break through again, and it's just been lost forward. But I want to put credit to their kick returns tonight, Matt. I think the carries off restarts have been absolutely outstanding. Just hard, direct running. Really been difficult for the Colgate defenders to bring down.
Yeah, and again, you know, when we saw the B team, or the second sides play earlier, that was real wind. And the wind seems to, at least from this vantage point, died down considerably. And I think we had a little bit of wind in the beginning of the match that might have knocked down a few balls, but that hasn't been a factor for the majority of the match.
Okay, use.
Colgate looking for a consolation mark on this game. They try to get creative, and they lose 20 or so metres.
Move.
Exactly, a little bit of WWE action there.
Here. Tackle's over, get out of it.
And they get the penalty. Not rolling was the call there from referee McCarthy. So Tommy McHale goes for the sideline, and what'll almost be the last set-piece opportunity of this game.
Okay. Well, I mean,
it was kind of like a behind-the-scenes shot from our next level rugby crew. You saw the sideline, and you saw the bags and the clothes on the side. Kind of looked like a crime scene. That's what college, you know, that's the dressing room in college rugby for the most part.
For sure, we love it. The sights of the grassroots collegiate rugby, it's brilliant. Fantastic experience for these young collegiate players, and no doubt they'll go and have a good time after the game.
These guys are Ivy students, man. They got to hit the books.
Yeah, I do forget that. I do forget that indeed.
And I will say this about the Ivies. This is the most difficult position in their administrative offices for the rugby guys is recruiting, because they don't allow compromising of the academic standards, and for the most part really don't give scholarships.
Thank you, buddy.
Well, the words of wisdom from Matt McCarthy will round out your Friday night footy. Yale 40 points to 8, and in the end it really was a convincing victory from them. Colgate certainly didn't give up trying, but your last thoughts, McCarthy, on that 80 minutes of rugby?
I tell you what, to me the score wasn't as lopsided. I said it before, but I just like the way that Yale survived that early red wave, especially from that man, the Pelham legend. But got to credit Yale. They just came back and they just started doing all the little things well, and they did it as a team, and you saw that in the score.
Certainly did indeed. The coaching staff, Craig Wilson, Mark Downs and co, will be very happy with this performance at home in front of their fans. It has been a great pleasure to have you join us live on Next Level Rugby tonight from New Haven, Connecticut. Thomas Grant alongside Matt McCarthy. Thanks to the team behind the scenes, the camera crew, and Ryan Ginty, the magic man, really. We'll see you next time, Friday Night Footy under lights.